guys, this is Sarah, and today we're going to talk about rating books. So I thought it'd be a great topic for this series to talk about rating books and how I personally rate books, because I feel like that's an important facet of being a reader and a booktuber, and I'd like to share with you guys the process that I go through while I'm reading and after I'm reading. So before I started my booktube channel, I never really gave a rating to books. It was always just, if I read it and I liked it, I kept it. If I read it and I didn't like it, I gave it away. And I never really thought deeper into the reasons why I didn't like it, why I did like it, the things I did like, the things I didn't like, and everything in between. One of the reasons that I think that is because I'm a pretty easy to please type of person and type of reader. When it comes to food, chicken is chicken. You can serve it from the oven, you can fry it, you can do whatever you want with it. It's still going to be chicken, and I'm still going to like it. So that's pretty much kind of the same thing with reading. For example, if it's high fantasy, if it's high fantasy and I like it, then I'm going to like it. But once I started my booktube channel, I started really thinking about why I was attracted to certain types of books and what those books had that made me enjoy them. And I think I found quite a few things that I feel like are important in certain types of books. For example, if you have a fantasy series, I like action, I like it to have mystery, I like it to have intrigue and magical elements. If it's a contemporary, I'd like huge backstories, important backstories. I like characters to have quirks and special parts to their personalities. I like the romance to feel authentic and not pushed or obsessive between either of them. Sort of those types of things, and depending on how those things are portrayed in a specific book, it depends on if I like it or not and how I rate it accordingly. So my overall rating in a book, the rating I give in the little stars on Goodreads, the rating that I show in my wrap-ups, that rating comes from how I feel emotionally about the book. And I have a little list on my Goodreads profile, like autobiography type of thing, that explains it. Pretty much it is that 5 stars, I absolutely love the book. I was emotionally moved, whether it was to tears, to laughter, to smiling. I was deeply affected, deeply connected to the characters, and everything overall was really, really good. It's 4 stars if I enjoyed the book, I connected to the characters, and generally I liked the plot, the movement, the writing style. If it had some things that bothered me or things that I feel like were needed to improve, that's when it would get 4 stars. When it's 3 stars, I feel like it's just an okay book, an average book. I didn't feel moved in any way, or that it had a lot of issues and a lot of things that bothered me, whether it be plot points, character-wise, writing style, and any of those things, they bothered me a lot. 3 stars, it generally means that I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. It was just okay. 2 stars is when I don't like a book. It could be because the plot was slow, or the plot didn't make sense, or the writing was all over the place, or the characters were annoying and I didn't connect with them. For whatever reason, if something happened that really annoyed me or frustrated me or made me mad, that gets 2 stars because I did not like it. 1 star, I hated it. I despise it. I cannot deal with it. It's more than just mad. It's enraged. It's a book that either offends me personally, or the characters do things that don't seem like they think at all whatsoever. There are very, very, very few books that bother me or enrage me or insult me enough to be a 1 star. The only 1 star books that I have on my Goodreads are books that I read a while ago but are marked as read, so have more read books, and I don't feel like I can give them any star amount, so I give them 1 until I can reread them and change it. I haven't had any 1-star books since starting my booktube channel. I've had 2 stars, but not 1 star. Actually, I'm lying. Finale by Bex Fitzpatrick. That's a 1 star. I hate that book. Now, you guys have seen my book reviews, and in my book reviews, I separate it in 2 parts. The critical section, which is the spoiler-free section, where I talk about 3 main points in a book, where I give star ratings to each of them and talk about them spoiler-free. Those are plot, writing style, and characters. These are judged on a different star scale than the overall star rating. So my critical section, when get at the average, might not equal the overall star rating, because how I feel emotionally about the book is a separate thing on how I feel critically about the book as it was written, of the characters, and of the plots, if that makes sense. That's why my reviews are divided from critically to emotionally, because emotionally is where you see why the overall rating is the way that it is. I talk about all the spoiler-free thoughts and all of my feelings on all those thoughts, sort of the same as the critical section without the star rating, because the emotional section reflects the overall star rating. I hope that all makes sense. If not, questions in the comments are much appreciated. Within my critical section, the plot, the writing style, and the characters are rated from 1 star to 5 stars, just the same. But it's not as emotionally connected. 5 stars usually means that I loved it. I felt like it was, for example, in the plot. If a high fantasy plot has 5 stars, it means that it was action-packed, it had mystery, it had magic, it had intrigue, all the things that I like to see in a high fantasy plot. Okay? It depends not only on the genre of the book, but also on the content of the book to get that star rating. One of the books that I've recently read was Sam Cruise's Infallible Guide to Getting Girls by Tallulah Darling. Now, this book, in general, in the critical section, if the overall rating was connected to the critical section, it would have been 2 stars. But it was hilarious, and I enjoyed myself laughing, so it got 3 overall stars. But within the critical section, the plot, 2 stars, writing style, I think, was 3 stars, and characters, again, 2 stars. Because I felt like there was a lot of things that needed to improve. I'm going to talk in general about how the stars change in the critical section, if that makes sense. 1 star in the critical section is pretty much the same as in the overall section. I hated it. I did not like it at all. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hate everything about it. Again, that hasn't happened. If it's 2 stars, then it's bad, frustrating, very basic or average in any of the sections. Like, the characters need more development, the writing style is very simple, not unique, and the plot could be all over the place, very messy. Those would be 2 stars. If it's 3 stars, it's just average. It needs improvement. The characters were okay in their personalities, but they didn't develop enough. The writing style is simple and slightly enjoyable, but it could be repetitive, sometimes boring. And in the plot, it could be that some points were solid and other ones were all over the place. They didn't flow as well. The pacing was weird. Those types of things. If it's 4 stars, it means it's good and enjoyable. For the characters, is that their personalities are solid and their interactions with other characters are good, but again, may need more character development. In the writing style, it means it's enjoyable, has unique points, but again, not completely wow-inducing. And in the plot, it can mean that it's great, it's enjoyable, it has some action, but there are certain spots where it feels like it went off course and then got back on it. And for 5 stars, everything's great, everything's amazing, the characters are well developed, they grow throughout the series, they interact well with each other, their personality traits are portrayed through actions. In writing style, it could be something unique or special or emotive. I like writing styles that sort of feel like the characters are talking to you. Those are the kinds of writing styles that get 5 stars. And for plot, it could mean just overall good ride. The pacing's good with the story, whether it be slow, steady, fast. It all flows and it's all good throughout the whole thing. The plot points make sense. Twists take you off guard. All of those things are taken into account when I am judging by critically. Again, it also depends on the genre of a book. Contemporary books will not measure the same as the high fantasy books because their criteria is different. I'm not going to expect a contemporary book to be fast-paced and action-packed and have magical elements unless it's a thriller. If it's a thriller, yeah, it should be action-packed, but if it's just the summary cute contemporary, action-packed may be annoying, or fast-paced may be annoying, because then I feel like I can't connect to the characters very well. Opposite with the high fantasy. I don't want a high fantasy to be really slow and take its time describing the characters. I want it to be fast, I want it to be action-packed, I want mystery, I want magic, I want entanglements, I want twists and turns, which in contemporary may not fit. So it all depends on what kind of genre I'm reading and how my different criteria personally of the things that I enjoy in that genre are portrayed in the book. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like maybe I rambled a little bit and you guys might not understand my process. So if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments and let me know what you think of my thoughts and my rating style. Let me know how you rate books and how you think about books, critically or otherwise. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!